Erev Tov, everyone.
Erev Tov.
There was a great growth in Varsha between the wars. He was a Gaon Olam, Meir Don Plotsky was his name. He wrote a sefer called Kli Chemda. I have used his sefer many times, but every time a Parshas Vayechi, I repeat an idea that he discusses, because these are people that they have no heirs, so to speak, except for us. And he was a man of such great Torah knowledge and genius and goodness. So his words of Torah should be repeated because the words of Torah have an eternity with them, as does his soul. So in this week's Parsha, the brothers regret what they did to Yoseph. And they come to Yoseph and they say, Ono sono pesha achecha. Please forgive us. Kol haroa asher gmalucha. All of the evil things that we did to you. We're sorry. And we're at your mercy. You can do what you want with us. And in effect, they say we justify any punishment that you want to give us. Yosef is taken aback. He says to them, Asachas Elohim oni. What, am I God? The Lord metes out punishments and rewards. Atem chashavtem alai ra. I agree. You intended to do an evil thing to me. You threw me in the pit. You sold me to the Ishmaelim. Alakim chashov elo letova. The Rebbeinu Shalom thought this was a great thing. Millions of people have benefited from our story. The whole world has been fed. God thought it was a good thing. So if God thinks it's a good thing, who am I to mete out a judgment or punishment for what you did, even though you thought it was a bad thing? So Meir Don asks the Kasha, we find in Halacha it's not like that. In Halacha, we don't look at the intent, we look at the action. So, for instance, a person, God forbid, wants to go into the tray from McDonald's. and buy a hamburger. All the meat in McDonald's in Israel is kosher, which only makes it worse. By mistake, he goes into the kosher McDonald's. And he orders a hamburger, and he eats it. Technically, did he do an Aveira? No. He didn't eat anything non-kosher. But since he thought that he was in the tray for McDonald's, since he thought that he's doing an Aveira, so the Gemara says he has to bring a korban chatas. There's another kasha from the Gemara in Nazir. And the Nazir thinks he's drinking, he wants to drink wine. He's really drinking grape flavored Schweppes. So again, he did something, he wanted to do something wrong. He ended up that what he did was right, was good, was a benefit, was nothing wrong with it. But still, he has to bring the korban. He violated his vows of the Zirus, so to speak. And in his genius there, Meir Dunn brings numerous other instances in the Talmud where we find that if the person had bad intent, the fact that he did not fulfill the bad intent doesn't acquit him of the necessity to do tshuva. And that's what Chazal meant here, Hurim, the Aveira, Koshin ba'Aveira. The thoughts of Aveira are worse than doing the Aveira, because the thoughts manipulate our minds. We think about bad things. So then what kind of comfort did Yoseph offer to his brothers when he said to them, Atem chashavtem alai ra, you thought you were going to do a bad thing, you're telling me. Elokim chashov l'tov, it turned out good, it was a kosher McDonald's, it was grape flavored Schweppes, it's all good. So he says a basic idea there. We all know there are two types of Averas. There are Averas Beinonim Lachavero and Beinonim Lamokum. So Meir Don says, Averas Shebeinonim Lamokum, you're responsible for your intent as well. Because Elokim Bochein Kloyos Malev. The Rebbeinu Shalom knows our intent. The Rebbeinu Shalom is well aware of what's doing within us. So therefore, if you have bad intent, so you have to do tshuva for it because you're sinning against God. God is aware of what your intent is. But there are averos beinonim lachavero. No one knows what's doing by the other person's heart. No one knows. In fact, you don't even know what's in your own heart. Our heart is so perverse. Who even knows it? It's the basis of the whole mental health industry. So if the Avera is Bein Odom L'Chaveiro, we can only measure it by what happened, not what the intent was, because we cannot testify to what the person's intent really was. Many times the person himself cannot testify as to what his intent really was. So therefore, Yoseph is talking Bein Odom L'Chaveiro. The brothers are dealing with him. So Atem Chashavtem, I don't know what you thought about, but it turned out good. You didn't do it. You did a good thing. Because that's Bein Odom L'Chaveiro. But if we're talking about an Avera, Bein Odom L'Mokom, that type of Avera, a person's intent counts. And therefore, Hirhurei, the Avera, Koshin the Avera. And you have to do tshuva on that as well. So that's one of the many great ideas in this Sefer, that he has comments, halacha comments on every parsha of the Torah. It's a memorial to the great Jews, the great Torah that we had in the previous generation. Rabbi Chananya ben Akash Omer, what's HaKadosh Baruch Hu Zakos is Israel, V'chachir b'lahem Torah mitzvot shenemar, I don't know, Chafetz Tzitko, Yagdil Torah.